FightHype.com. Rockman here with Steve Edwards. How are you today, sir?
I'm all right.
All right, so finally, you're here now. You got the biggest fight of your life in less than 2 months. How does it feel?
I'm not gonna make it bigger than what it is. You know, at the end of the day, it's a fight. Two guys getting in the ring with 10-ounce gloves on, 3-minute rounds, and we're gonna figure out who the best one is.
Now you said we're still waiting on the announcement on where the fight is going to take place. Any clues? Any hints?
Honestly, man, I don't know, man. I don't really, I try not to get in the middle of all of that. I don't know. All I know is that we should be expecting a formal announcement soon. That's just the way things are as far as, the way things are, the way the operation goes. Everything is kind of quiet and secretive until boom, they make their announcement. My job is to just get Julian ready for the fight. I try not to speculate too much, and we just want to fight.
Now I know Jermall's the A side, obviously, because he has a championship. He has the belt. Is it his decision where you guys fight? Does he have like that kind of pull, or is it more like a promotional thing?
You're asking the wrong person if he got that kind of pull. I don't know, man. Things have been kind of easy for him, so I don't know what kind of pull he has. I don't really want to get into that because what it does is it takes you off of the task at hand.
Right.
And the task is Julian knocking him out. Right. So all of the other stuff is, I really can't say, or I really can't get into it, but we'll see. I mean, he could have had the fight in Houston if he would have took Julian instead of Wolfie Camford. We volunteered to go to Houston after the Cuello fight. When he beat Luciano Cuello. I mean, I can't really speak what goes on with the other side. I'll tell you one thing, and I'm not accusing Jermall or anybody else of this, because I actually think the Charlo twins is cool. I like both of them. But people lie about negotiations when they're not public. And if you make negotiations public, what you do is you get too many influences from different places. But at the same time, people aren't held accountable for them. You know what I mean? Because we've been going through it a lot in our career. As far as what kind of pull he got, I don't know, bro. You gotta ask Jermall, you gotta ask his coach, you gotta ask the other powers that be over there. I'll let you know if he get to wear 8 ounces and we gotta wear 10s, or somehow the fight is in his backyard. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Now, without giving those guys anything, is there anything different that you're doing coming into this training camp that you didn't prepare for with other fighters?
You know what I try to do? I think that Julian is still improving. So every camp, I write down and chart what he do, and I try to do a little bit more to take him to another higher level. But at the end of the day, like I've been telling a lot of people, that it's just a fight. Obviously it's the biggest fight of our life, and it's not a simple 3-round sparring match, but it's a fight at the end of the day. So I'm not going to confuse him and change up all the things that he's been doing well throughout his career that got him to this point. You know what I mean? We'll probably do a little bit more. This is the second 12-round fight, but it's just a fight. It's a jab, it's a right hand, it's a left hook. You slip a shot, you roll a shot, you catch a shot. It's nothing but the basics. We're just gonna be. I think if anything, the focus level goes up because you win this fight, your life has changed. So
now I know you say it's just a fight, but it's the first championship for you and him, right?
Yes.
So what does it mean to you? What would it mean to you if you bring that championship belt home?
Well, I'm not gonna lie.
How would that change your life?
It would be a big deal with me, and it's not just money. Money is money come and go in your life, but your honor, your livelihood, winning. Winning is intoxicating. I've been a winner my whole life, and I want to keep on winning. I want Julian to be a winner, and everybody don't, believe in him yet or believe in us yet. So it's really important for me and for him to win this world title. He has to win this fight. What I mean by just a fight is that I'm not going to do a special training procedure or or weird methods that we haven't already been doing in the past to get us ready for the fight. You know what I mean? I'm not going to bring in like these special tactical coaches, one to teach them how to throw a jab and one to teach them how to throw an uppercut like it's a football team, and he got 15 assistant coaches. That's what I mean by it's just a fight. But as far as with his career, listen, he is the B-side coming into this fight. You know, he hasn't always had the same opportunities that everybody else when they've had him. You know what I mean? So he has to win this fight. You know, it's very important that he wins this fight. You know, and he understands that. So, you know, and, you know, we got to shut a lot of people up. You know what I mean? We got to shut people up and let them know that, you know, people say it's a 50-50 fight on paper. We have to let them know that that it's not. We got to let them know that Julian is the better fighter, and he's always been the better fighter. Right. You know what I mean? It's just that he hasn't had the same opportunities presented to him. We got to let him know that. You know, last year I think he was like 80th in the world from the Ring magazine. We want to be one of the top guys in the world, pound for pound. He cares about his legacy. You know what I mean? And when you win fights like that, you can kind of control your own destiny. You can start making calls and start saying, I want to fight this guy, I want to fight that guy. You know what I mean? You can start kind of tailor making your schedule according to the big stars. If you notice that a big star always fights in May, September, or
Mexican holidays,
or right like that November-ish time, November beginning of December. It's always a big star that fights around those times. So you can get to start doing stuff like that if you win these kind of fights.
Right. So you don't think this is a 50-50 fight between him and Jermall?
I think it's a 50-50 fight on paper.
Right.
But I honestly believe that Julian is the better fighter. I think he's always been the better fighter. Right. You know, I think that Jermall is a tremendous young talent. I think he's big, he's strong. He's very, very, he goes behind a good jab. He got a good right hand. He got a good left hook. He's really sound fundamentally. But I just think that Julian is a smidge better than him. Now he got to prove it in the ring, you know. But I just think he's a better. But you know, 50-50 fights as far as the betting public fights aren't won on paper. You know what I mean? They aren't. Some people can think a fight gonna be 50-50, then you get in the ring and be like, whoa. You know what I mean? So we're gonna see. You know, I think we got a fight on our hands, but I think if Julian is the Julian that I know and the best Julian that I've ever seen, if he show up, I think he's a class above this kid. He got to prove it. You know, Jermall never lost a fight before. And let me tell you something, he's prideful. He know Julian want to fight him. You know, he got family, he got friends. I see how they look at us at the different fights and stuff. You know, they used to be cool, but now people don't speak no more. So I understand what's going on, you know. So when pride kick in, man, you got a woman, you got kids, you know, your folks, you know, we got a determined guy in front of us that Julian's going to have to discourage him. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is.
Now, if the fight takes place in Texas or on that side of the country, is there any worry in your mind, or is there any added pressure on closing this guy out? So you guys think you can get the nod on that side?
I'm gonna tell you a quick story. We was fighting this kid named Hector Rosario. Julian was about 8-0. It was a good-looking Puerto Rican kid. Gary Shaw was like signing a lot of Puerto Rican fighters at the time. And the kid, it was on the Bernard Hopkins, Chad Dawson rematch undercard. And they said, the fight's on YouTube. And the kid was like buddying up with Oscar De La Hoya. Everybody, people from each field was all coming out to watch him. And I know that shit made Julian sick to his stomach because that kid was really the A side of that fight. He was 7-1, Julian was 8-0. But I noticed something different about him that morning. And he said, man, it's going to be what it's going to be. I got to just perform so well that they can't take nothing away from me. And if the fight is somewhere that may look not favorable to us, what can we do? You know what I mean? He's just going to be forced to either dominate it and stop him. You know what I mean? That's what he's going to be forced to do. I'm not in the business of complaining and making excuses. There's been fighters who had a tough road, that had to go on the road to win titles. Tim Bradley had to do it against Junior Witter. Azuma Nelson had to do it against Wilfredo Gomez. Marvin Hagler had to do it. If we got to go to his backyard, then that's just what it is.
Now, not implying that the Charlos would ever cheat or anything, but there's headlines on PEDs with these fighters taking PEDs. Is that ever in the back of your mind?
Sure. Julian wants to take VADA and USADA tested. And once we get the platform and the power to do that, that's something that we want to do. Listen, you don't have to beat around the bush. I think 70-75% of the top fighters in the world have cheated or aren't cheating.
Wow, 75%.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
I really do. People coming down from these unnatural weights, they're rehydrating up to get through camp, losing 25 pounds, and you boxing every day. It takes something out of you to be able to keep recovering and doing that over and over.
Right.
You'd be surprised at what goes on. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of guys in boxing that cheat. You know, and I'm not saying that the Charlo's cheating. No, I really don't know what they do. They seem like honest young guys. So I'm just going to assume that I'm assuming that they clean until proven otherwise. But overall, a lot of these guys be cheating, man. You see guys coming from the same part of the country and all of them punch like they freaking got iron in their gloves. You know what I'm saying? That's not no coincidence. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's boxing. You know, nobody made Julian Williams
Can I ask, is that an Argentine thing? Is Argentina one of those?
That ain't the only
countries?
country where dudes coming from and punching all crazy. A lot of country over in the old Soviet Union or Russia, all them guys punch crazy. I'm not saying that they are cheaters, but it's just every one of them is a lights out, break your face kind of puncher. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of stuff that's going on. There's guys with crazy stamina, they get knocked out, they jump right back up, and you know what I'm saying? There's dudes that's faster at 35 than they was at 25. They don't make nobody, you know what I mean? It's guys that fight the same exact weight and they be ripped to shreds for certain guys, and then they be fat and chubby in other fights. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. I know you see it, but if people pass the test so they're not getting tested, there's nothing you can do about it.
Now, compare and contrast Julian's style with Jermall's. I mean, what's the key differences here?
I don't really want to get into it because it's kind of going to give the game plan away.
Okay, no problem.
But I will just say that Julian really, if 10 people look at him, 10 people come away with saying something different from him. You know what I mean? Some guys say he's a big puncher. Some guys say he's a finesse boxer. Some guys say he's an inside fighter. Some guys say, you know, he's just a tactician. You know what I mean? You always see something different depending on the opponent. With Jermall, you know, he kind of is what he is. You know, he post up. He got a good left jab. Everything work off his jab. He shoot his right hand. You know, he's usually the bigger gunslinger in the ring. But as they say down south, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got a gun.
Right.
So now he's gonna be facing the kid that's just, you know, it's not gonna be no old man, not gonna be no 5'7" Latino guy that's really a welterweight, and Jermall could fight middleweight, and they meeting at 154. Gonna fight a kid, the same athleticism, you know, same physical traits, give or take an inch or two, and then you want to see what it's like to have to deal with that.
Now, a win over Charlo, where does that rank him in the junior middleweight division?
I think he's already the best guy in the division. I don't care what nobody say, he just haven't had the chances. I mean, Charlo the same age, he got the same number of fights, but he haven't had the same chances that them guys got, that them guys have had. So therefore, it's just different. You know what I'm saying? But I already believe he's the best fighter in the division, but believing somebody's the best fighter in the division and actually going out and proving it, it is a difference. You know, he has to comprehensively defeat Jermall. And if he does that, guess what, Ryan? He had the most significant victory of any of the guys in the division. Think about the best win out of all of the guys in the top 10. If he's
including Canelo?
Canelo came back.
Yeah,
but listen to this, how funny is this? Canelo's best victory is against Lara, right? And that's controversial.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people that think he won. So that's why I said comprehensively. Julian knocks Jermall out or shuts him out. That will be the most significant victory out of any guy in the division, because none of them has really been having to fight each other.
Right, true.
You know what I mean? So this is it's a very important victory.